Bueno, jóvenes, ya yo le di las instrucciones en el camerino. Vamos a hacer una pelea limpia y que gane el mejor. Suerte, que Dios los bendiga.
A fighter who cannot be expected to be an easy victim here.
Cotto looks physically much stronger.
Away from home to train. Previously, he has always trained in his hometown of Caguas Puerto, sometimes in the Torres fight.
This country says Tito Trinidad, so it's very hard for him.
Needs to box to set up his big stuff.
And also, if he systematically breaks.
To feel tight, seems to feel as though he's unable to get off.
And I respect Cotto.
Our interpreter is Jerry Alaya, who's done a tremendous job for us on several occasions. And he fights Miguel Cotto next, June 10 in Madison Square Garden, to get hold of the guy Branco's fighting in his very next fight. Had difficulty getting off and landing in the first round. Miguel Cotto is taking his time and found one punch that Branco landed in the first round. 1 out of 38.
Background with his family, all of them in boxing. That's what's interesting. Cotto is up to nothing but boxing people.
Yeah. Both of them trained by their uncle Evangelista Cotto, who was never a fighter.
Yeah, isn't that interesting?
The guy who was never a fighter has a good perspective as a trainer.
Well, evidently it's working.
A little too patient here.
He seems to be physically so much stronger. And look at that.
Question is, can the crowd form and waste his turn?
I think he's going to fight a very intelligent fight he's had in recent fights where he's been hurt.
So far, thoroughly under control. So far, pounding away. Avenue to open his own offense quite yet. Incidentally, earlier this evening in Manchester, England, Joe Clottey with an easy, unanimous decision.
And also,
Branco gets in a left hook there and lands another left hook, trying to back Cotto off as he is pinned against the ropes. Cotto with his own left hook upstairs shook Branco with a solid shot.
Punches, so if either one throws a wild punch, he may get caught.
Perfect shot by Cotto on the
punches coming from both guys, a very short pinpoint punch.
Nodded. Good right hand over the top.
Yeah, Branco's got very fast hands. Maybe not the most power, but
you can see Branco bunching his elbows to try to guard against Cotto's hooks to the body. Branco can't block everything. Cotto trying to find the openings in Branco's guard, and finally Gianluca Branco answers back with a couple of punches of his own.
But Branco better be very careful in throwing his own left hook, that he don't get caught in a left hook exchange. Because Cotto is a much stronger power punch with his left hook.
Atlantic City 2 years ago was a better boxer than Miguel Cotto. He could have been whistling in the dark with that. Go right back to it. Sticking his jab, but trying to get back into his defensive envelope as rapidly as possible. Cotto punching through the target and hitting much harder.
Cotto's fighting a beautiful fight. And then he gets right back with the jab again.
That Cotto seems to begin to land at will upstairs.
Wraps it up. Good combination. If Branco doesn't start fighting back, he's going to find himself in trouble, because sooner or later playing the numbers game.
doesn't have the strength that Cotto has, but he is a true professional fighter. Here you watch that exchange with the left hook. Again, a little high. Branco is covered well and comes back.
Okay, Jim, 3-0, 30-27, Miguel Cotto. You're standing right in front of him, and it's almost impossible to move your head. Cotto just digging that hook under Branco's right elbow, around it, to the body, and then...
So at this moment, part of the drama becomes fights. He couldn't knock him out.
Cannot afford to let Cotto keep punching like that, because Cotto is a big puncher and an accurate puncher. You have a guy that's maybe a wild puncher, he's missing a bat. Sooner or later, he's going to have to land something. And Branco's, you know, he cannot keep fighting his way. He's going to have to start doing something to get Cotto off of him.
And he doesn't want to do it because he doesn't want to take the counter shots in return.
Jim, you're absolutely right. And that's why it's going to be a rough 12 rounds for him, a flickering jab out every once in a while.
I think he's trying to throw the hardest punches he can. He just doesn't have...
Unless he can do something different than what we've seen so far, doesn't get a chance. Branco backs into the ropes. Branco tries to cover up. Cotto uppercutting right through the middle of the guard. Now the left hook upstairs. Left hook to the body. Branco with one left hook shot to move Cotto back.
Nice right hand.
Cotto walked right into the right hand. But Fight understands that he can take Branco's best shot. And he's willing to do so.
He's going to have to fight like that. Either start moving and boxing, and being that he's not moving.
Branco landing 8 out of 55 punches per round. A reasonable and sufficient output.
Footwork, working your jab. Either you're one of those guys who can roll and slip and bob and weave, upper body move. But Branco is just merely trying to stand in one spot and just cover up his heads.
And hasn't yet found any blood to show to referee Luis Pabon. Blood inside the hairline. From the apparent accidental headbutt.
A lot of those body punches are landing on the arms.
There's a hard right hand by Branco.
A bit from those, from catching those shots.
The line on the cup really are not low blows.
Now Cotto on the attack again.
Yeah, I think Branco needs to move forward. That's the only thing he can do. Actually, he's got such fast hands that if he starts going forward and opening up a little bit more, Cotto may have to start watching out and being careful.
Now, when they fight from distance, you
Fast-handed fighter.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, he's fighting a good hand power.
The guy from Colombia who came close to knocking Cotto out last September in Atlantic City.
Branco is landing and win it.
Boom. Certainly wasn't intentional, and there's the blood.
Branco's got fast hands, and he's got to be a little bit careful.
Not to go all out trading punches. He's far more efficient when he stays back in boxes, waits for his opportunity to get, as he did there.
Yeah, he's becoming a very good seasoned professional fighter.
Branco popping Cotto with a little. Branco missing over the top. There's Cotto, looks for another chance to bang him to the body. Ringside request. First question of the night. Emmanuel, which fighter provides the best matchup? Floyd Mayweather, Zeb Judah, or Ricky Hatton?
Ricky Hatton.
Oh yeah, I want to see it right now.
Yes.
Rising under the right eye of Branco.
Branco told us he's never been cut. Pointed out before, he's never been knocked out. The only loss of his career was by decision to Arturo Gatti. Punches in a row, but then got clocked with a big left hook. Big right hand by Branco. Cotto walks right through it, though. This time he's not hurt by the big punch.
There you see Cotto's left. Simultaneous punches.
Cotto,
you're performing well.
at the end of every round, I always
6 rounds to nothing, 60 to 54, Miguel Cotto. Jim, that's a hammer with the much harder shots.
Harold Letterman airs in favor of Cotto's harder punches.
I charitably gave the last round to Branco. Change his style. If he fought in a different style, then maybe he wouldn't even be here.
Right eye. His right jaw looks to me to be broken. I don't see how he can last 5 more rounds in the fight.
Almost busted up. He is taking a beating.
keeps coming right on in, just as relaxed.
Branco has a tattoo of Che Guevara, the revolutionary, on his right arm. And
but he is being battered. Battered by a relentless left hook assault.
Automatically break down his opponent, and he is doing it.
You know what, looking at Branco's face over there and watching him, he looks like...
Ringside request. In your opinion, who is the greatest Puerto Rican fighter of all time?
Whoa. I think that Trinidad is probably the most sensational international star who ever came out of Puerto. Benitez was a fabulous boxer. And this looks like the end of the fight right here.
Branco is holding his right shoulder.
Even though he was located in New York.
I agree with you. Carlos Ortiz is one of my favorite fighters.
Our discussion of great Puerto Rican fighters. Cotto just continuing to go back to the well, doing what he had done throughout the fight, hitting Branco hard on the shoulder with the left hook, and Branco, who may have been looking for an out, his right shoulder was injured. I had seen him shaking his arm several times earlier in the bout. Cotto just kept pounding away at that side of the body. The first knockout loss of his career to Miguel Cotto.
The winner by TKO victory, el invicto de Jaguas, Puerto Rico, Miguel